nonfiction over the past week or so, and we've been really thinking about, as learners, as readers of nonfiction, we've come to realize that in order to hold in all the information that nonfiction offers us, we need to have some strategies available to us. And so we've been thinking through, how can we read, stop, and jot in order to make sure that at the end of all of that reading, that we're able to say back and talk about the main ideas that we've learned. And so I just want to remind you today that in order to keep track of our thinking, that's going to help us to be able to identify the main idea and the supporting details. But we've also realized that text structure and author's perspective is a huge part of our nonfiction thinking. And then if we do all those things, we're able to verbalize a clear and a precise, exact summary that shows all of our understanding of the main idea. And I put our treasure chest at the end of it because that's really our goal, is to be able to, at the end of reading a piece, we can tell, okay, what's the main idea that I've thought about. And so I've got another piece from our book, Pesky Rats. The title of the book is Oh Rats, and we've been doing some work with that. You've already done a section called Pesky Rats, but I found another interesting section called Rats to the Rescue. I want you to take just a minute and go ahead and do some pre-reading strategies to kind of think, what might you predict that the main idea is in this piece? I'm going to give you about a minute or two to do that. About 30 more seconds. It's so important for us, boys and girls, as nonfiction readers, to not forget that strategy of pre-reading, because it just helps us go ahead and predict, okay, what do we think the main idea of this piece is going to be? And you're so smart. I see you looking through your text. I saw some of you point to your title. I saw some of you looking at the picture that was offered to you, or maybe even looking at the caption and the photograph that was there. So what are some things that you guys are just kind of predicting? Just maybe call out some things that you think might this text, the big idea be.
It looks like this guy has a pet, and it looks like the rats are helping him or something.
Could you say that in a way that we could maybe turn into a big idea?
They look like they're helpful. Rats are
Okay.
helpful.
Oh, I'm going to put that rats are helpful. Okay, anybody else?
It says in here, it's used for TNTs and wars.
He said it sniffs for TNT during wartime. So maybe rats are helpful to sniff possible danger. And I'm going to put during, he said during war time. Anybody else?
He's actually saying rats are helpful to humans too.
Oh, we could say just maybe overall rats are helpful to human. Okay? Rats are helpful to humans.
Rats can sniff out survivors, like in the packet says that they transmit in rats, so the rats can go and find
So think about what she said, because she's already thinking, we know we had this sniff out. David said TNT, and you said survivors. So maybe we could put TNT and then also survivors. So you know what I'm kind of thinking? maybe there's even more than what? One main idea happening here? Is that what you're thinking? Uh-huh.
Well, I'm gonna kind of add on to Norma and kind of say like they're kind of like heroes who are like helping survivors.
Rats can be like heroes. Rats can be heroes. Now, I don't know about you guys, but you want to add something else?
Like rats save lives.
Oh, rats save lives. Okay. Davis?
I was also saying kind of like the danger part. They're only 3 pounds, so even if they accidentally step on like a landmine or something, it won't blow up.
Isn't it crazy to think, and Norma's even got more thinking, like we haven't even read the piece. All you guys did was some pre-reading strategies, but your brain is already thinking about the big idea. Or we're even thinking the big ideas, because we have definitely discovered that a lot of 5th grade nonfiction holds more than what? One main idea. And that's important for us to take notice of. Does anybody notice that this kind of thinking is different than the pesky rat section? Turn and talk to somebody about that. Hey readers, you guys are so smart. I hear you already saying, well, in this piece, the author's perspective seems to be different. Because Pesky Rats was about how terrible and yucky and gross rats were. But we're kind of thinking Rats to the Rescue, that the author is offering a different perspective for rats. Okay? So I'm going to do a little bit of reading of the text, okay? And I'm going to offer you guys the opportunity to stop and jot as I read, because good readers of nonfiction, they hold on to their thinking by stopping and jotting, because if not, there's so much information that I'm afraid you're going to lose if you don't. Okay? So you guys ready? Rats to the rescue. War is one situation in which rats have proven helpful. The dangers of war continue long after peace treaties are signed and the guns fall silent. Nearly every single army uses landmines, buried bombs that explode when a person steps on them to protect its positions. After the war, these remain deadly even for generations. The International Campaign to Ban Landmines estimate that 100 million mines have been laid throughout the world. And in certain places like Cambodia, in Asia, and in Africa, they kill or maim scores of innocent people each year. But to permit civilians to go about in safely, landmines must be removed. Experts detect mines with metal detectors or by crawling on their hands and knees, carefully probing with knives. And when they find one, they dig it up and they disable its fuse. Sometimes a wrong move sets a mine off, killing them instantly. The African giant poached rat can detect mines more easily and safely than any human. Up to 30 inches long, this creature stores food in its cheek like a hamster, and attached to a leash held by a handler, it loops across a field and, keeping its sensitive snout to the ground, sniffs for TNT, the explosive used in mines. Weighing just 3 pounds, the rat is too light to set off mines accidentally. When it locates one, it scratches a few times with its front paw and then pauses. And as a reward, the handler gives it a banana, a pat, and some kind words. Readers, I'm going to pause right there. Can you, I already done something really smart. You're like already